Brocky, keep talking about whiskey and kicks.
All right, man. It's good money. We good?
We good.
It's the boy Brocky, man. Whiskey and kicks. We're doing a sip of Brocky, man. This is highly unorthodox. Usually I'm drinking on the set. And I ain't drinking today, man. We'll get into that a little bit later. With my guy, James.
What's up, brother?
My G.
Thank you for having me.
Man, I appreciate you, son. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for inviting me back for the second time. You know what I mean?
Man, I love it, man. You always welcome.
Appreciate that, Els. What's good with you, man?
Not much, man. Just trying to tune the fork day in and day out, keeping it going. Trying to stay out the way and in the way at the same time.
Yeah. You know, I've been looking forward to this conversation, man. You know, this whole Sip on Brocky segment, of course, is not highly scripted. It's usually free flow. Okay. But I got questions, B.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So first, you're from Kansas.
Missouri.
Right? Oh, so this is Kansas City, Missouri. So this is similar to what's up with Missouri with that? So you have St. Louis, Missouri, and then you have right across the bridge. It's Illinois. It's
St. Louis, Illinois.
Right? It's something like that, right? So Kansas City, Missouri,
and then there's a Kansas City, Kansas.
There's a Kansas City, Kansas too.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
So,
okay.
and there is a distinct difference from the Kansas and Missouri folks. Like you can look, if you're from that area, you can tell, oh, that's a Kansas dude. That's a
so y'all border is real.
Oh, it's like from here to Alexandria.
Word.
Yeah.
Son, like once I get to a certain point, I have no idea. Like, there was a geography.
Yeah, I'm horrible with it too.
Son. So, you own kid, or you have siblings and stuff, or what?
So it's kind of a hodgepodge. My mother gave birth to 2 kids, me, and I have a brother who's 8 years younger. But my dad had a few kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So my oldest sister is like 58, and I got another one who's 56, and I got a brother who's 53.
But you're okay.
But this is on my dad's side.
It's on your dad's side that you didn't grow up with, right?
Yeah.
In the same household.
Right, in the same house.
But your younger brother, 8 years younger, you said? So that's still a big difference.
It's huge, bro.
You know what I mean? Like we can't hang out and shit.
Can't hang out. I was a horrible big brother when I was a little kid. Cause single mom, single household, a lot of that responsibility falls on the oldest to keep shit in order when moms is trying to pay bills, and so there's a certain level of resentment that came along with that when I was younger, that I kind of had to work through. But we cooler now and all that. But yeah, it was just us two in the house.
So, and you left Kansas City at what age?
19.
And headed where? Here? All right. So he was only 11 years old when you rolled out. Did you like by that time were you guys really close?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
You guys grew closer later on.
Yeah. So for a lot of my brother's formidable years, I was more of a father figure than I was an actual brother. So, I'm going to parent-teacher conferences. I'm doing that kind of stuff. I'm trying to push for graduation and education and staying out of trouble and doing all of that stuff. So it wasn't until he got older to where we actually have more of a brother type of friendship, a relationship rather.
So you growing up, like living in Kansas City, I had no familiarity with Midwest lifestyle, culture, and whatnot. What's one of the biggest differences you noticed when you came out here compared to life in the Midwest? So
when I initially moved here, I moved to Alexandria, Virginia, in an area that was called The Hole. That was where my father lived. It was right off of Route 1. They were still building up, where the movie theater and the Target and all that stuff is. Yeah. Off of Jefferson Davis Highway. None of that there when I was here. So they were building that up. And then on the west side of that, it was called Mount Vernon area. Del Rey is what it was called. So they had an area there called The Hole, which was, there was a lot of stuff going on there. But that was where I lived and where I moved when I first got here. The biggest difference was mainly the the love I felt from like the people who were there, which was really different than the Kansas City side. So if you in Kansas City and you on a block or whatever, and you not from that block and ain't nobody vouching for you on that block, people want to know who you are, where you going, who you with. Like, you can barely go see a girl on that block if she, you know what I'm saying, you better go in and come out. And so I'm actually coming there and I'm walking around, I'm walking to the store, and, and there's all this motion going on. So I'm kind of like in combat mode, realizing that, you know, the fact that don't nobody know me is actually a positive. And I got a pass because of not knowing anybody at that time.
Yeah, it's a couple sections over there around that time that in Virginia, if you get down into some of those neighborhoods where it's a little sketchy a couple times.
Yeah, Jump Out Boys, like it was I was in like that area was a definite
so
challenge.
Were you exploring a lot when you got here, like as far as DC, you know what I'm saying, Maryland and all that stuff?
Nah, I didn't go to DC that much, man, because I'm not, like, I have a horrible sense of direction, bro.
Word.
Horrible sense of direction.
I'm pretty much like that shit too. So.
Horrible. So I'm sitting there and not really, you know, knowing where to go. I would catch the bus everywhere, man. And that's how I got around. I loved the subway when I got here. So I would catch the bus and the subway to pretty much go everywhere. And if the bus couldn't get there, I wouldn't, or the subway, I wouldn't go. So I didn't really venture into DC that often. That wasn't until a little bit later that I got to come into DC to hang.
Yeah, like, you know, I came here in '94 via the Air Force, and you know, my man, a friend of mine at the time, he got his car sent here from Alabama and shit, but he never he didn't like going anywhere. So me and my roommate, we would just take the whip and just go up towards Howard. And all I knew was that big ass monument right there was south, Virginia south. Like, okay, we going straight. And then I realized how the roads are laid out in DC, and it was on from there. But even to this day, even coming here today, I know exactly where you live. I still put that shit in my navigation.
Yeah, same. I would do it going to your crib, and I've been to that movie theater over there
a zillion times,
dude. Because for me, my landmark was 14th Street Bridge. No matter what I did when I got in DC, I would find my way to 14th Street because I knew that bridge was going to take me back to Virginia.
I did the exact.
And then get on Route 1.
Yeah, I lived on Fort Myer, B. Like, so for you going like this. For me, I went like that.
Yep.
Same exact thing. That bridge was my lifesaver.
Yeah.
But you know, once I discovered Howard and shit, man, I was in DC all the time. So I was always.
And I used to visit Horace and Dickey's on a regular. But going that tunnel and how you could go the 3rd Street tunnel, which is kind of like how you get here now, like that was a big challenge for me. But I would go to Horace and Dickey's more than I would go to anywhere in DC.
Yeah, that was the shit. I mean, once you discover that spot, and the landmarks, you know, Florida Avenue Grill, Chili Bowl, Horace and Dickey's, it was just like, it's a go. That's what, every time I come to the city, I want one of those. And you know, Horace and Dickey's is gone now. Ben's isn't what it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben's. It is what it is. And I don't think Florida Avenue Grill still open. I don't even know if they still open.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So look, man, you know, you're not the typical cat.
Okay.
Right? You know, I mean, none of us are. Everyone's different, right? And, you know, we met, it's been, was it 2020 or 20?
Yeah, it's about, no, I would think.
Before COVID hit?
Yeah, it was before COVID. So I would say 2019, early 2019.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, I can identify interesting people, you know, pretty easily. I'm like, this dude, what's up with this guy, right? You know what I'm saying? What's up with this dude, right? So, the podcast, which we'll get into in a little bit, you know, just it makes you wonder more, like, okay, interesting perspectives and stuff like that. So you've had some experiences that I definitely wanted to touch on. So I'll start with the latest. So I watched our last episode, right? And it made me, you guys talked about a moment that changed your life.
Yeah.
Right? And it made me think about this book that I read called The Tipping Point. You ever read
I've heard of it.
You heard of The Tipping Point. So you know the concept behind The Tipping Point?
It's been a while, no.
So the tipping point is when a small thing, right? Maybe not necessarily a small thing, but a single thing can have a huge impact, right? So the example is like a kid who decides to wear penny loafers to the village in Manhattan to party one night when no one's wearing penny loafers, right? So he wears these penny loafers, and a couple people see him, and that one action, he might pick those up in a thrift store, led to maybe next weekend 3 other people wore penny loafers. They saw him, and then it turns into a big thing where penny loafers is a fad,
right?
Culturally a big thing. And so listen to you tell the story about you getting stuck up, right? And I'm gonna try not to be long-winded because you are the guest, but I just wanted to share this shit with you.
Nah, go ahead, bro.
So when I was younger, I had a friend, right, who, and I hope he don't mind me telling these stories and shit. So he lived in a household where that ended up becoming very religious. He was 1 year older than me, close friends, and very, very religious to the point where they pushed him out. He ended up becoming like the biggest dope boy in the city. Never would have thought this was, his name is, well, I don't say.
Right.
So never would have thought, right? And later on in life, when we kind of lost contact and whatnot, we ended up going to the same school. When I got there as a freshman, you know what I'm saying? I was fresh. I've been fresh, right? So I show up to school with a trench coat, triple fat goose, black jacket with the fur on it, right? Black shit, got the strap with the fur, all that shit.
Yeah.
I show up to school, right? Boom, walking down the hall and shit. And this kid named Sonny, right? Sonny was like, damn, yo. He's like, taking that coat. Sonny was one of them dudes who, he's gonna get me.
Right.
And my man was like, nah, leave him alone. This is a dude that we grew up playing together, but the streets made him grow up so much that he was like my OG to an extent at that point.
Right.
And he sheltered me from that and whatnot. And it just makes me think about, you made me think about that. Like, what could have happened if I would have got, that time of feeling so vulnerable? Because your story is you walking down the street with the coat.
Yeah.
And somebody got you for your coat. And that moment changed the projection of your life.
Yeah.
You want to explain that a little bit? Like where that sent you?
Yeah. And so growing up in an inner city, there was violence around you, but rarely, up until that point, it had never been like face to face. It never hit me directly. And so that day when I was walking to school, when the dude pulled the gate out on me and took my coat, my Georgetown Hoya starter coat, it was the first time I had been confronted with what violence looks like on a one-to-one basis. And I didn't like how that felt. And I didn't like feeling exposed in that way. I knew risks were a part of living in the hood, but I didn't actually know, like, oh, okay, here's what that looks and feels like. And so my reaction to that was to make sure that I wasn't going to ever put myself in a position to be taken advantage of like that again. And to a degree, I kind of overcorrected, because I actually became the thing that I actually was trying to avoid from, being the victim of. Yeah. And it wasn't until a lot later in life that I actually realized that there was this overcorrection and that I became what I actually was trying to fight. And it has been a lesson for me to be like, okay, how you fight matters. Like, just to respond in any kind of way isn't always the most effective. It can be temporary, it can get you to the next day, but it might not necessarily be the long-term, way to get out of that situation.
So, all right, so it's wild, these kind of things, right, James? Because that sent you down a certain road, which also sent you down another road that made, that made your life so great. Yep. You know what I mean? So I guess at the end of the day, it's just life lessons. Like, do we have to learn those life lessons that way though? Was there another way to get to where you are without having to go through that?
It's the it's the what if exercise that I think a lot of people engage in, and I don't know how helpful that is. And I don't know how helpful it was to me. I think the more I can accept what is taking place, no matter what it is, and the more I can look to get out of that what I need to get out of it, and not necessarily see it as a bad or a negative thing, but just as an experience.
It's just a thing.
Just a thing. Right. And then move and redirect. Now I can try to avoid that or do something better or different, but I don't have to paint this whole picture and tell this story about it. And it's why I really don't like talking about my past that much in a specific way anymore.
Okay.
Because it's like, and not to say I don't talk about it, it's just, before I used to be like, oh, I came from this crazy messed up background and had all of this and had experienced this, experienced that, and experienced this. And it's like I'm telling a story that doesn't really fully depict what I got from it. So I had to learn how to tell better stories and different types of stories, more accurate stories about, my past and how, I've, gotten better, because I wouldn't be who I am now without it, bro.
Right.
And I love me
right
now.
No doubt.
And so if I had to go back to homeboy with a gauge, would I tell him like now in my hindsight, I'd be like, all those points in that process, bro, give them here. Give me my mama, give me Kansas City, give me the street I grew up on, give me my GED, give me my lumps, give me my bullet holes, give me all of them. I'll take it. This is who I am. This is my composition. And so how I present that to the world is my decision, and the way I tell that story is my choice. But I'm not the things that I actually went through.
No doubt. That's dope, man. When did you gain that enlightenment?
This is recent, bro.
Word.
Yeah, like a couple years, 3 years, 4 years.
So the person that you became combined with alcohol, because you don't drink.
No.
We got kombucha here.
Yes.
We got kombucha. Matter of fact, let's pour some kombucha and sip a little bit of this, and then get into it.
So I want to start with my favorite. We got a bunch of different ones here. So kombucha is like, in case you didn't know, it's like a fermented tea. It's from China, Asia, somewhere over there. But the reason why I like it, man, is because I like it has some carbonation from acidity, so it's almost like drinking soda without necessarily drinking soda.
Yes.
But it's good for you, and it has good sugars, not
good
like
for your stomach and all that, right?
All of that. So my favorite, bro, is Watermelon Wonder by Synergy. So I would say let's start with this, and then I gotta pop it a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it. I've only had it mixed with alcohol. Yeah, skipped on a little jump a little bit there.
Yeah, she been doing that a lot, man.
Word.
Yeah.
How old is she?
Oh shit, I think 9.
Word.
Yeah, we gonna do it like it's a real drink.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? James got me feeling like I'm sipping a little cocktail right here. Little bartender drink,
is.
Man. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, brother.
Peace.
Cheers.
Yes, that's right.
So yeah, that's my favorite one. Watermelon Wonder.
What's the sugar content?
I don't know.
Not high?
Nah.
It's a natural sweetness.
I ain't got my glasses on.
Let's see. Let me check that out.
Yeah,
that's right. It's the whole bottle's 18 grams of carbs, 18 grams of sugar in the whole bottle. That's not bad, man. That's right there.
Not for the whole joint. And what do they say? 6 grams of sugar is a teaspoon?
Yeah, that's good, son. Yeah, I like that shit. So, your journey, let me start with your journey to drinking. Like, did you start drinking at a young age? You did?
Yeah.
And so it was just a lifestyle thing at that point, right?
Everybody was doing it. So my mom was an alcoholic. And Now, if you guys heard, she still is alcoholic. She just don't drink anymore. That's kind of like
that's what they say. My grandmother.
way.
My grandmother was something. She passed, but she was alcoholic.
And my father, God bless his soul, also struggled with it, and it wasn't something that I really ever felt like I was gonna be like that dude. I was just like, I drink because I like to drink, bro, and I'm gonna do it. Why? Because it feels good, and so yeah, it started out as that at a very young age, around like 15, 16.
So you started 15, 16, and you had alcoholism in your family and whatnot. So did you, let's just fast forward, right? When did you realize that the combination of what and whoever you were at that moment with alcohol wasn't a good mix? Or was it a health choice? I mean, whatever the choice was.
I would say it may have been around when I was 30 is when I was like, oh, okay. 30 is when I started to negotiate with alcohol.
Word.
You get what I mean? So I started to like, so I'm only going to drink on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So, I'm only going to drink beer. I'm only going to drink when I go out. And I started to have negotiations with how I was going to consume alcohol. Right. And no matter what the negotiation was, I was always losing. Right. I was always losing. And then I was ending up at a point where it was at the far end of use.
Okay. Yeah. Overindulgence kind of thing?
Yeah, because I would drink about a fifth a day.
Word.
Yeah, Jack was my thing. I like Jack. And if that wasn't there, I drink whatever was around. I buy 2-3 bottles and be like, I'm only gonna drink one bottle. I drink the one bottle and then go and get another bottle.
Word.
And it was that kind of thing. And then I started looking at patterns in my life because I also suffered from that, like mental stuff at times. I didn't really understand how all of those things were connected and how they were showing up. And I had to like actually really look and be honest with myself and try to see like how these things were connected, because it was all connected for me. Like for me, bro, like messing around with a bunch of women was connected to the alcohol, to the mental health, to my diet, to my weight. Like all of it was interconnected. All of it was. And I didn't understand that until much, 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 much later.
That's wild, man. Did you need assistance discovering these things, or you just kind of had some self-discovery?
So I knew I had issues mentally like when I was a kid, bro. I just didn't really know what that meant. And so I was always curious about stuff, about the universe, about religion, about like why is the greatest question ever created. And so I'm asking these kinds of questions and looking and trying to understand. And I read a book, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then I started talking to people and going to, have conversations and understand. But it was like, I really don't want to do the work. I want to keep messing around and playing these games with myself and other people. Because once the rubber really meets the road, bro, I got work to do.
Indeed.
And I really didn't want to do the work. I'd rather play and talk about how hard it is and how I couldn't figure it out. But in hindsight, being honest, I didn't want to.
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
This shit is a struggle. Like, I found Islam I found Islam earlier, but I really embraced it when I was over in Kuwait for a little while. When I came back, and I was focused, working out all the time and reading all the time. I came back to DC, and it was like, where we at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just got lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
For a while. I came back to it later, whatever. But that shit is no joke. It's tough. Like you saw when I was talking to Buck. It's like, it's so easy to lose focus. It don't take a split second. It take a long time to gain it, and a split second to lose that shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's why. So you are, you know, you're identifying these things in yourself or whatever. So that's a lot of self-awareness that you have, and then you made a choice, like, this is a wrap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so are you one of those people where it's like, you know, 946 days and all that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Nah,
I didn't think so.
Nah, but Thanksgiving will be my 2-year anniversary of not having any alcohol.
Dope. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Congratulations on that shit, son.
Thank you.
You know, it's always a beautiful thing. Like, you know, we have to have, in the Black community, we have to have some type of level of knowing yourself and identifying things in yourself, because therapy is so shunned in our communities that we don't seek outside help. We don't seek outside help for our mental health. We don't seek outside help for our finances, for anything. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me nothing about my marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My money. So that's dope that you have some type of self-awareness to identify that shit in yourself, man. Make a change.
And that kind of shit just ain't, it's not cool in the community. And that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do like Tune the Fork and then some of the other stuff, man, is because I want to make being human cool.
Man.
Like I genuinely want that to be like a standard, embracing who you are, accepting your flaws, recognizing that you make mistakes and you can do something different if you want to, and that you don't have to beat yourself up every time you fail, but you could actually see that as a part of the process to succeeding in whatever it is that you want to do, and that those failures are actually the most beautiful things that you could encounter in that moment, because we learn more from those moments than we actually do in succeeding. And it's a complete shift in how we talk to ourselves, how we talk to our kids, how we talk to our homeboys, how we talk to our women. Because it's like, look, I'm not going to always feel this certain way about you, about this decision that we made to be together, about alcohol or whatever it is. But, you know, I don't have to hide that. I can actually own that and say that that's just a part of the process, and you can own it too, and your interaction with me and how you show up. And then we'll just, you know, because I think the worst thing you can do in any relationship is feel like you can't be honest.
Yeah. I agree. Any relationship. Yeah.
Any relationship.
Just to be clear, we ain't just talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife.
Any relationship. And my relationship with alcohol, I had to be honest. Because to me, all of this shit is about relationships. What's your relationship to your podcast? What's your relationship to alcohol? What's your relationship to food? Everybody got a different relationship with alcohol, bro. Everybody's relationship with alcohol ain't mine. But my specific relationship is one that's like, we don't do well together.
Right. right.
We like, there are different dots that are connected in my relationship with that has a different path than somebody else's. So I don't knock somebody because they got a different relationship with alcohol. Same way with women and sex. Like, I got a different relationship with that. So I if that's how you move, if that's how you're oriented to that thing, that's cool. But you got to know yourself and be honest with it when you actually are in it.
So at some point in your life, or maybe you've always been like this, I did this, I found it later on in life. You made some type of decision, or at least realize that you're going to be yourself at all times. I've seen a different Jane. I've been around you a few times, and I've seen you on camera a bunch of times, and I've never seen a different James.
It's a challenge, man. It's I struggle with me and being me. Sometimes I feel like I'm a lot. Sometimes I feel like I am too much. Sometimes I feel like I'm too intense. I'm too serious. Sometimes I feel like I'm too critical. And I'm in my head a lot about some of that stuff, and I'm learning to be more okay with myself and how I show up. And so like when you see me on camera, sometimes that's me like just genuinely trying to be okay with that. But it's hard, and my music is similar to that. How I DJ is very much the same way. How I DJ and how I share my thoughts and communicate, to me they're the same thing. It's the most vulnerable parts of who I am, and sometimes I don't like those parts. And me just doing it is a part of trying to overcome it, if that makes sense.
I can dig that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So
it's like if you're scared of heights, get on the ladder. That's me getting on the ladder. Right. That's my version of that.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. And that's definitely I'm not just gonna say it's a struggle, but it's a constant thing. Yeah. Did you always have people in your life? All right, I consider myself a spaced out cat, right? I'm into space. I'm into different type of music.
Yeah.
I'm into strings in music. I'm into wavy shit. Like I like Jimi Hendrix. I like The Doors. One of my favorite. Absolutely, I like that shit. The Doors, one of my favorite groups and shit. And I've never had more than maybe one or two. Maybe one friend in my life at all times that I can actually talk to about that type of stuff, because my other friends not into that shit like that. And I never think that they would get it if I say, yo, listen to this song, B. Like, where does this take you? Because it takes me a certain place. I can't expect other people to go to that same place. Have you always had people in your life that you can express your whatever your spaced out sense is, or how did you deal with that? Because I always struggled with it.
I still struggle with it. I was talking to Life, who's the co-host of Tune the Fort earlier, and we were talking about something. Some people get it. Some of my friends in my life get it. What I'm starting to recognize, though, is that it's not necessarily them. I don't do the best job of communicating thoughts and ideas, man. And sometimes because I see and feel in pictures, it's hard for me to communicate what I see to people and what I feel. So a lot of things I'm saying are kind of like in an abstract manner, but because I can see my feelings, I can see like sound and those things translate into different things. So I'm trying to communicate something that I really don't have the words for. And I struggle with that. So I don't necessarily think it's the people in my life, even when it comes to my lady, right? I know I don't do the best job of communicating certain things. And if she doesn't get it at a particular time, I understand that I'm also contributing to her not necessarily getting it because I'm not doing the best job. And sometimes I do a good job, and I'd be like, well, shit, if you don't get it, you don't get it. So that's a part of it too. But most times I'm not doing a good job.
I mean, there's also things in this universe of ours that you feel that can't be explained. Also, so I mean, shit. Yeah, so you can try, but they'll never get it because they're not you.
And sometimes, like, if you'll see, as I talk, like on the podcast, I'm trying to generate the picture that I have in my head. So sometimes you'll see me repeat something over and over again. And that's because I'm trying to generate this picture in my head and make it clear. So I'll say the same thing like 4 different times or 3 different times. to try to generate. It's kind of like when you you're making music or listening to a beat, and you'll hear that thing repeat, and as it repeats, you feel like it's actually getting stronger in that moment. And I don't want to be too abstract with the shit.
Nah, go for it.
But my words and my attempt to try to articulate this thought, even if I'm stumbling, is giving it life and creating it and making it more clear.
Okay,
to
in
me
your
too.
mind.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Not necessarily to the person receiving that information.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that become more frustrating as you go along?
So, yes. No, to the other person it does, because they start to zone out. So, like in the mornings, I like talking in the morning. I pace back and forth, and I'll just put my hands behind my back like this, and I'll just walk. I'll do 7 miles around that thing.
Yo, you wild, son.
Just walking, pacing, thinking. And so in the mornings I'll talk, and I can tell when like my lady's zoned out, and I'll look at her, and I'll go over and be like, thank you. And she'll be like, what? For what? And I'll be like, just letting me just talk. Yeah. Because that's healing for me.
That's dope.
It's therapeutic. And I used to be so embarrassed about that I had to process my thoughts and try to figure them out. And then I'm like, hold on. Shit ain't supposed to be ready-made. Right. Every idea that you have shouldn't be gotten from social media or from the news or something like that.
How about that?
So if I'm actually processing and trying to create a new thought or idea or concept about something that's not connected to anything else out in the ethos, then I'm going to struggle with that, because that ain't something the average person does on a regular basis. We open up and look and see who died. We look to see who got a new album that came out. We'll consume and listen to what it is that they'll do, and then we'll ask somebody, hey, what you think about that? And then it's like, but if you create a whole new idea, a whole new thought pattern about something, that shit looks wild to the person who's spending the majority of their time repeating things that are already going on in the sphere.
Yeah, that's true. And person or audience, like, you know, my social media posting, I just like gave it up sharing any type of intricate thoughts, because people just they're not thinking like me. I'm not saying the way I'm thinking is deep.
Right.
It is what it is. But I know they're not gonna get it. So you know what? It's no use for me asking, what do you guys think about the interdimensional time travel? Like, nobody wants to talk about that shit. You know what I mean? So I just like, all right, man, never mind, man. It is what it is, man. Look at the stars and shit. That's dope, right?
But if you dope, which you are,
Preach.
And you Brocky, people should be talking about interdimensional shit. And maybe if that's your thing, right? If that is truly, genuinely your thing. And my challenge is having a thing that I don't feel like anybody gives a fuck about. And how do I push through to still raise my hand and say, who's with me? Because I have to be okay with, it ain't how many people that's looking, it's who's looking. Like who is raising their hand when I raise my hand, not how many people. And that's a different.
That's fine.
It's a different kind of piece to it, I think.
It is. That's perfectly fine. Like if you know, one person says yes, I thought about that shit too. We can have a conversation. Who cares if anyone else can see the significance or the, you know, in this, the topic that we're talking about. You know what I mean? So, but you know, most people, yes, I'm Brocky and all that shit or whatever, but and I, you know, I'm talking about interdimensional time travel. If Diddy says it's dope that Brocky is into interdimensional time travel, then everybody would think that it's dope that Brocky's into interdimensional time travel.
Bro, think about this. It's a convention of people to talk about their belief in the earth being flat.
Straight up.
And so somebody had to be the first one to raise their hand.
Right.
Somebody, I don't know who that wild motherfucker was, but somebody was like, I think the earth is flat, and here's my data. And so how did they look for how long until they found somebody else, and then the next thing you know, there's a whole convention about it.
When was that tipping point?
When was that tipping point? Because sometimes I feel like, and I think that when you're creating a new thing, whatever that thing is, you're going to be there with your hand up, looking for other people to raise their hand for a long time, alone. People gonna pass you by. People gonna look at you. People gonna ignore you. They not gonna support you. They not gonna watch. If they do anything, it's gonna be on a superficial level. And then the tipping point is going to be when you meet a random dude. Hey man, do y'all take coats?
Right.
At this drive that y'all doing?
Right.
You don't even know who he is, but he saw you, and now you got somebody on your team who willing to go as hard for you and the stuff that it is that you're doing. I find somebody, and that's how it works, but nothing can get around us raising our hand first. And a lot of people, and I'm trying to teach my godson, bro, raise your hand. Raise your hand. You might be the only one raising your hand for a long time, but keep that motherfucker raised.
Keep it up.
Because you'll connect with the people you want to connect to, or you're supposed to connect to.
You know what? That's a perfect segue. We're going to get into Tuna Fork.
Yeah.
Because all the shit that you just said goes into the grind that you and I are both on. Me with Whiskey and Kicks, you with Tuna Fork. You know what I'm saying? That hand is up saying, yo, this is some shit. And you know, it's only a few motherfuckers out there. So let's go ahead and break, man, and set this camera real quick and we get to it.
Bet.
We back in this joint, man.
Back.
Gotta reset the mechanics and all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? The toolery. Make sure the blue light is on. Blue light is on.
Blue light special.
Shout out to Energizer. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, Tuna Fork, man. Let's pour this blood orange. Oh no, you got a little bit left.
My bad.
No, that's good, man. Okay, cool.
Go ahead. This is just gonna be.
I don't want you to get too tipsy too quick. You know what I'm saying?
You know these. This fermentation had you on your ass.
Word. Blood orange drink. Let's do it.
There you go.
Appreciate that, yo. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, I got that ginger off the top.
Oh, and it hit too, don't it?
Yeah, shit, right. I'm in, man. And look, shout out to Trina, chick on the scene. She gonna be pissed because she drink kombucha on a regular basis, and she ain't got me to drink the shit yet. It's not because I didn't want it. It was just the timing.
And it's like, the cup, bro. You gotta put it in.
You gotta get the Martell cup. You know what I'm saying? Don't put it in the red cup and shit. The Martell drink, man. I'm gonna drink this on a regular basis, man. I'm in.
I love it.
So yeah, man, that whole raising your hand thing and you know keeping it up there for a long time is what's the word? It's synonymous with the struggle.
Yes.
The journey of having a message and having an art form that you're expressing this art in the form of film, and you're like, this is dope. What you guys are doing is dope. I know it's dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the people who raise my hand too.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'll fuck with Tuna Fork because my mind is my mind is out there in those areas that y'all explore. So this explain, man, before we get into complaining and bitching about people not supporting us, the concept behind Tuna Fork itself.
I quit my job in October, and November 11th, 2020, I started a company. And the purpose of starting that company was to create new patterns of thought, speech, and action. Most of the shit that we are doing, from my perspective, is repeating something that had already existed that And so we're repeating a groove that has already been laid out. We're repeating a thought, we're repeating a fear, we're repeating a belief, we're repeating a perspective, we're repeating a mindset. And so tune the fork in all the things that we do is looking to change first our own thoughts, our own patterns of thought, speech, and action, so that we can align ourselves with the reality of who we are and who the other people around us are, our community of people. Now that community is literally the human race. Mm-hmm. Gives a fuck about the color, gender, sexual orientation, any of that, whatever the case may be. Because again, those are patterns that are being repeated that somebody else created. And so through that process, we're going to heal ourselves and each other, because to me, healing is really just seeing the reality of a situation. That's what the definition of healing is. And Tune the Fork exists so that we can have these kinds of different kinds of conversations that help us see ourselves in the things around us. Because we believe that everything and everybody is one. So if I sit back and I look and be like, that motherfucker over there is crazy as shit, I have to automatically tell myself, I'm crazy as shit too.
Because there's a connection there.
There's a connection in everything.
Right.
So the idea of holding something up, whatever that might be, whether it's January 6th, whether it's the Locks versus Dipset, whether it's our ex-wives, whether it's, a dude who owe us some money. We owe somebody some money. We've owed somebody something at some point in our life.
No doubt.
How does that look? How do we resolve that infraction in ourselves? And then how can we be okay with that infraction that we perceive somebody else to be committing against us? And so that is Tune the Fork.
So that's dope. And it's layered. And you are choosing a path of much resistance. And that is oftentimes the most fulfilling and satisfying path to choose. So I dig it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I dig it. I love it. I sit there and watch, man, and I rewind the shit because y'all talking. So it's like having a couple homies over the house talking and shit. Sometimes you might want to go over here and do some other shit real quick and be like, what the motherfucker just said? Let me rewind this shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this real quick. So I fuck with it. So y'all do a video based situation just like this pretty much, and y'all, YouTube is your only outlet. Y'all doing audio too, or is this on YouTube?
So Tune the Fork is one aspect of the overall mission. I volunteer time.
Yes, sir.
I volunteer money because I want to create these new patterns. And that's not so Tune the Fork is just one avenue. And YouTube is just one form of that outlet. Our lives are also an example of that.
Okay.
And how we live and how we show up and what my discipline level is like for things and my commitment level is like, because that's also a part of changing that. Because when we get, our first episode was the process is the product, right? That's literally what that is. And so most people, so this is the beginning of something, right? And then you make something and then you package it and sell it. Most people are buying that.
The end.
We're selling the middle, everything that's in the middle. The whole process of putting the shit together, figuring it out, because I want people to see what that looks like. I'm tired of all of the, we're gonna show you what's in the sauce. We're gonna show you what's in the sausage. We're gonna break the eggs and show you what breaking the eggs looks like. We're gonna fumble. We're gonna fuck up. Why? Because we are some of the flyest motherfuckers who have ever lived on planet Earth.
Right.
And if we can be fly and show our flaws, it's not just enough for me to get online, man, and talk about my new whatever.
Indeed.
Like, that's not enough. There's enough people doing that.
Indeed.
I'd rather come on and show you what that looks like, but also all of the other pieces and parts associated with the struggle to attain this, or to feel like or to determine whether or not I need that thing. Like, that space in between is what we're selling.
That is important. That space is important. Like,
it's the most important part to us.
It's the most important part. I mean, conceptually, right? Let's talk about, well, I'm just saying conceptually, whiskey and kicks, right? I tell people, I'm here to talk about the math, the science, the blood, sweat, and tears behind your favorite spirits and cocktails. Right, so when you go to the bar and just say, "Hey, I want I want an old fashioned," they give you a Manhattan, since I have this kind of glass. Even though I wouldn't put a Manhattan in one of these, but you get a Manhattan, right? And boom, you get it. You turn around, thanks. And you talk to your friends. You drink that shit, and it's delicious, and it has its effect. But that bourbon that's in it, somebody scuffed their knuckles up. Somebody didn't go home on time for dinner to get that barrel to where it needed to be. Yeah. There's so many things that happen behind everything you see. It's not always about the end product. It's about the whole thing. Yeah. The whole thing. So, and on top of that, these people have stories. So, this person is a person. He had experiences and shit like that. Like James, what I'm saying? Younger, his younger brother was 8 years younger than him. There's significance in that because, my sister was 5 years older than me, and we didn't hang out like that. You know what I'm saying? She had her friends, I had my friends. So you do your thing, I do my thing. So I can only imagine 8. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So there's just these stories and shit, and behind that finished product I can relate to that shit.
And you know what actually was the switch for me, man? The game, what these dudes are doing in fashion, bro, is next level shit. Next level shit.
Who's this?
All of the fashion cats. Okay. All of the dudes in fashion. All Nike really is, bro, is a marketing company. They don't make shoes. Right. I mean, they don't sell shoes. They sell stories. That's what they sell. These places, these fashion houses and stuff, they're selling a story. That's their product. They just use these garments, these tangible things as the reference point for the stories that they're selling, because people don't buy stuff. We don't connect with stuff. We really connect with stories.
True indeed.
And so what I am trying to shift is in terms of is to put the focus on the story and make that what the actual dope part of anything that is done is. And so I just so happen to want to use, you're going to see storytelling in everything I do.
No doubt.
You're going to see a message. You're going to see something related to a narrative in everything that I do moving forward. When I'm talking about helping homeless people, like that's just one thing. Like these people have stories. And so rather than just going to say, I'm going to go help a homeless person, like there's a different way in which we can connect that and have that resonate with other people. The only challenge is most times the only people's stories we really give a shit about now are celebrity stories. Popular people. Yeah. But shit, we got stories. We just don't tell them. Right. And we'll talk to each other behind the camera and we'll do this and that and the third. And it's like, nah, man, we got dope shit. I got tired. And I'm going on a slight tangent. I got tired of complaining about what I was seeing. And I was like, I want to contribute in some way, shape, or form to to telling different types of stories, being a part of different types of pattern making. Because all of those people who telling their stories, they have every right to do that, you know. But we have rights to tell our stories, and Whiskey and Kicks is a way for you to tell those stories about those people. Because it's more than just, like, how do you charge $1,000 for this bourbon versus $20 for this one? You better be able to tell a great motherfucking story.
You better have a hell of a story.
You better have a hell of a story.
And it better not involve some damn slaves or some shit either.
To the right person, it might
I know.
make sense.
Yo, that's heavy, man, and you know, it's dope that that your actual lifestyle mirrors the shit that you're talking about, and you know, on a weekly basis, whatever. Sometimes, multiple times, you put like a couple episodes out a week. Sometimes,
when we were trying to stay on track, like if I'm traveling, or life is doing something, we would try to double up sometimes, but that's rare.
So, you had an experience, man. Let me see, where we at? I think we got a little bit of time, but if the camera cut off, we just started over. You had an experience in Brazil. You down to talk about that? So, you went to Brazil. Did you go to Brazil for this particular experience?
No, my girl was down there.
Okay, got you. So you went down to Brazil, whatever, to visit, and you ended up taking, what is it? Ayahuasca, which is is it similar to what they call peyote?
Yeah,
type of experience?
it's like a more potent form of that.
Shit. Okay. So we talked about this a little bit before. I've always been interested, and I have plans on doing the shit, but I do have a fear because I had a cousin that lost his mind for a while, just off of some laced weed.
Okay.
And he was gone for like 10 years, and all of a sudden he just popped back and shit. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead and wait till I get at least to an age where if I go, I just go. You know what I'm saying? But that experience, so ayahuasca.
Yep.
What was that like? What does that do? What is that supposed to do for a person if you take this? And what is it physically?
It is like a drink. It looks like acai juice in a way. It's like a deep blood orange red, and it's made from, I think, like tree bark and leaves. It's like the most natural thing you could actually consume. And they mix it up and then they boil it, and then you drink a very, 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 very small amount. And sometimes you might do 2 shots, depending on, you know, the potency of it and what you want your experience to be like.
So this is supposed to take your mind to different realms. Is that the right word? Or
no? So it's a psychedelic drug or liquid. It's not like weed or like it has something to do with the receptors that it hits in the brain. So like you're not going to OD on ayahuasca, but you do have to take it in a responsible way, because depending on like what it's a very difficult thing to explain. Let me tell you what it did for me, right? So, and it's supposed to help you understand who you are in relation to the things around you, and what your place is in the universe and in the world and in your family and in your job, and it helps you make sense of some of the things and let go of pain and fear and uncertainty, and help you really see just how awesome of a person that you are. And as I'm speaking to you, I'm using terms that actually appeal to like your intellect. But what ayahuasca actually does is it hits you on what you feel to be like, or what I felt to be like, a soul or spiritual level. So you can connect with things in ways that transcend just words.
Right.
So right now you're connecting with what I'm saying through the words that I'm using. If you were on like ayahuasca, you would actually be able to connect with my energy.
Right.
Without us even using words. And that communication will be just as clear, if not more clear, than the words that I'm using.
That's crazy. And you experienced that while you were on it. Does that experience continue?
Yeah.
All right.
It went for a minute. So it was like an all night thing. So from like 10 p.m. to like 7 a.m. we were just going. It took a while for it to kick in. For me, it took like 2.5, 3 hours to kick in because I didn't think the shit was gonna work. But when it hit, I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
It was like, it makes this feel fake. It was realer than actual real.
So, all right. So that tells me that you still. First of all, you remembered your experience. You remember your experience.
Yeah, you remember it all.
And it changed you.
Yes.
Right? So my question, this is all leading up to my question that I thought about. Did that make your interaction with people, did it enable you to identify people who have not had that experience? And did it make it more difficult to be able to relate to those people? If you did recognize that they've never had that experience.
It's hard to explain to people what it is, especially when you're talking to somebody who think they may know, or it's like, so like say for instance, I was talking to you and you were a Christian and your only relation to what I'm saying is like, oh, I caught the Holy Ghost.
Right.
And so you're like, oh, okay, you got the Holy Ghost. I'm like, that's not the same thing.
Right.
But I can't say that.
Because you don't really know, right?
Because
you're not them.
I'm not them.
Right.
But that's the only thing that they can really relate it to.
Like it must be like this.
It must be like this. But what I can assure you, it is unlike anything you have ever experienced in your life. But when you do it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. Because what I was doing, I did research on it. I did tons of research on it. I listened to people's experiences, good and bad. But to actually
experience this shit.
Go on a journey, bro. Right. It's something like you can't even.
Yeah.
There aren't words to express what you're experiencing. There are no words to convey it. What I can tell you I got from it is that all of this shit is connected. It's all connected. And that it's also technology.
So you're saying that technology is an extension of us type of thing? Or we're connected to technology
so
in a way other than creating it?
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. What is the difference between technology and nature? When you use the terms today, how do you...
That's a great question. Because, the first thing that came to my mind is electricity, right? But that exists in nature as well. So if I had to go with an answer, I would say that technology is man-made and nature is not.
Okay. So if you made nature, what would you call nature?
Nature.
If you made nature.
If I made nature.
So you said, so what would the person who made nature call nature?
Just their creation.
Technology.
That's true too.
So the difference between technology and nature is something that man made versus something man didn't make.
Right.
Somebody made nature. And,
right.
And in the same way that they're called, in the same way that we call what we made technology, the person who made nature calls that technology. in my scenario.
Gotcha.
In my example. So trees are a technology. Nature is a technology. Light.
It's really the
color.
highest form of it.
It's the highest form, and patterns are technology, and it's one of the things. And so when we're talking about looking for like the presence of God and His magnificence and His greatness and aliens and all of that kind of stuff, bro, it is literally around us.
Yeah.
We're breathing technology. We're breathing.
That's ill.
We're breathing miracles. Magnificence, beauty, perfection. It's literally all around us all the time. And we can tap into the creative energy that made this stuff, man, and manifest it in our own lives if we choose to. But we allow fear, we allow doubt, we allow all of these other things to keep us from connecting to it, to being distracted, kind of like what you were saying earlier. And so with ayahuasca, bro, you feel that.
That's crazy, P. That's crazy.
In every cell of your being.
That's nuts. That's nuts. Yeah, I have a huge desire to have that type of experience. I hadn't heard of ayahuasca until I met you, but I know about peyote and some of the other shit. I forgot what Mike Tyson said he did. His experience.
I think he did a couple of different things, bro. He did frog venom or something like that. He did DMT. So DMT is the main molecule that's in ayahuasca.
Oh, okay, all right.
So you can smoke DMT. So you have DMT and then you have ayahuasca. DMT is in ayahuasca. So you can actually extract the DMT and smoke it. Smoking it is like an immediate.
I was about to say, because it's going straight to your bloodstream.
And it's stronger, but it only lasts for like 10 minutes or so. When you drink ayahuasca, it lasts for a very extended period of time.
That's wild, dude.
Depending on how much you take.
Yeah, man. It's on the list of things. It's on the list of its own, to be honest. It's just always this whole feeling that there's more. There's just more, and I don't know what it is. I have an idea of some things or whatever, because I am, I'm Muslim and all that kind of stuff. So, I know that there's more. I believe in that, but there's more, even still, that I can experience. So it's a lot of shit that happens. With people, in our society, people have more capabilities than we realize and shit. And, certain things I've seen, a lot of stuff I've heard about, with just the physical aspect of the human body, we're just capable of way more. And you just have to train and shit to be able to get to those points. My next door neighbor growing up, he was a martial artist, and he was like Steven Seagal shit. I don't know the school, but he was a black version of like Steven Seagal shit. And I've seen him. I've watched him in my kitchen have a candle. You know what I'm saying? And this is the whole chi thing. And he did this, and he was however many feet away from the shit. He did this slow ass movement and did like that, and the shit was like, just blew the shit out.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it was like seeing some shit like that. And then he told me how his teacher was this Asian guy who was like 4 feet tall, so 4 foot something, that could jump up and kick a basketball rim. And I believe him. I saw him right. Kid. I believe him. You know what I'm saying? I saw him put his thumbs on my dad's wrist, and on the right hand side, and his fucking left shoulder just started going like this. He couldn't stop it. My dad was a thug, so he was like, he got pissed, bro. But it's just deeper shit that we're not exposed to. I want to get some kind of exposure to some of this stuff before I die. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm so interested in your experience in that.
I would be interested in seeing seeing what a religious person's experience, what they would think coming out of it, and how that would shape your interpretation of your belief system. Because it's like a earth shattering. I mean, not earth shattering, but it's you remember it all. It is as clear as day. It's not like a high. There's no hangover. Like, it's as clear and as vivid as me and you talking.
No doubt.
It will be that clear.
Trina, where you at, man? We gotta take a trip. You know what I'm saying?
We've been looking to try to go, man. We've been looking to try to go. So might be looking around November, December timeframe. The place where we went, man, they're beautiful people, beautiful husband and wife. Beautiful dope. People. That's dope, son.
We're going to Costa Rica next year. I don't know, what y'all got going on in Costa Rica. Holla at your boy and shit.
About the peyote. I'm sure they do it. They do it everywhere, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I recommend it though.
Right. Yeah. They have one of the timers right, but it's something that I've always been interested in. Just knowing that, my dad told me when I was younger that he took LSD and shit and ran down the street and all the trees was reaching down to him. Yeah. So I'm just like, that's a mind-altering thing. Like, that actually happened. You know what I mean? So it's always been he probably don't know, but he put that shit in my head when I was a kid, and I was like, there's something more. Yeah. Then you know what I'm saying? So anyway, all right, man. We got to do another segment, son, because I got some shit. We got to talk Ghostface. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk a little hip hop, a little music, and some other shit. We'll get to it in a second. Cool? Got time?
Yeah.
Bet. But Ghostface your favorite MC?
Yeah.
But you don't listen to a lot of hip hop though.
Nah. And this is from back in the day. Now, let me rephrase that. Ghostface is my favorite rap artist.
Okay.
Like, he ain't the illest MC. But as a persona, it's like his swag, like his energy, the way he talk, the way he, move, and the way he talk shit and all that, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's who, like, in the total sum package of all its parts, that's me. I feel like if I was gonna be a rapper,
you'd be Ghost.
I'd be Ghost.
Ghost is super dope. So it's funny that you say that he's not the illest MC, because I have a personal definition of what my illest MC is, and that's Doom, MF Doom. Well, my favorite MC, as far as from a poetical standpoint, is Nas, which we're not gonna get into war because he got certain feelings about Nas. We ain't gonna get into all that. We don't have to do that right now, James. We don't have to do that.
So tell me, go back to it. So
MF Doom is just the illest. Like the way he is, the way he was, part of
So you're not talking about lyricism.
Yeah, that too. This like you defined it.
So you going by the whole.
The illest MC is how I define it.
Oh, okay.
How you define it is what I call my illest MC. So if you were using my way, you would say Ghostface is the illest MC. Okay, it's just ill, yo.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fur shit, the belt, the hats, the wallies, all that shit.
The way it's just the way he.
yeah.
It's just that.
Yeah.
That just.
I love Ghost.
I like his energy and his love for like old school R&B, bro, is just.
So he would rap. He would rap over the whole track. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So funny story. I don't know if you know it. Ghostface is like, when he came out with Supreme Clientele, he started doing some different type of stuff, like his first album, whatever, Supreme Clientele, he got a couple tracks on there where he didn't really rap about nothing. He like Nutmeg, and I think one. He said only a couple verses within those songs actually had meaning.
Well, hold on. Iron Man was his first album.
Iron Man was the first album. Supreme Clientele was the second.
Oh, that's the one where you saying he's switching up and doing something different. Okay.
Yeah, on the second joint. And he told the story about how he met MF Doom overseas one time. And MF Doom told him, they just having conversation. He was like, yo, son, just rap. Just say whatever. Like, just try it. Because, Doom, I don't know if you listen to a lot, that motherfucker was just talking about.
He's hard. He's hard.
But the wordplay, you can't deny
the shit that he puts together.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So he told, and then Ghost did it on the second album. So if you listen to the first two tracks, it's like the first one is just the intro. Tony starts from Chicken Singing, and then the next two songs, I think it's Nutmeg, and then one. I think it's really Nutmeg mostly. He ain't talking about nothing. So he just Jurassic Snacks, Booby Traps. Like he just talked whatever, and it sounds crazy.
Yeah, and the production on that joint fits that shit too. It was like, it was a project. It was back when projects were projects. Now when they say a project, they just talking about, oh, I got 7 songs that I'm putting together that don't mean shit. You know, there's no cohesion.
Yeah.
There's no like theme, no story to it or nothing. It's just stuff.
Yup. So what turned you off? You're a DJ, so you explained to me that having to play Hove all the fucking time just makes you not want to listen to Hove type of stuff. And Nas wasn't really hitting in the club like that, but everybody flavor ain't the same and shit.
Yeah,
I love Nas, and I argue with people about that shit. But what turned you off, like, from listening to hip hop? Was it DJing and stuff like that?
It was DJing, and quite honestly, I've always been into old school R&B, but it was old school R&B and hip hop, mainly old school hip hop. I started getting turned off, I can't even remember the time. My interest just shifted. So like now I'm really into like jazz and different types of sounds and house and that kind of stuff. So it was the transition to more like electronic music, because I like different kinds of sounds. And because I felt like I had done that from a hip hop standpoint, it was like, oh, let me go see what I can do over here. And it's some dope shit in that space. So I was trying to take the stuff over there and bring it back into the space and bring it back into the space and bring it back. And then after a while, I was like, I was bringing so much back that it was overpowering the hip hop that was already there.
Okay. You like so you said like electronic and shit like that. How about like 1980s, like Europe had the stuff they was coming out, the pop that they was coming out with in the 80s. You fuck with that type of stuff?
Nah, this was more like subtract type stuff. SBT, RKT, SBT, RKT. Jungle.
Oh yeah, I fuck with that
stuff,
Jungle, man. Jungle still active?
Yeah, they just had a new album come out.
You talking about a specific group?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about Jungle music.
No, my bad. It's like a group.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of different names that kind of like fall. Like there's a Little Dragon. At that time, there was another group called Teach Kids Manners. Okay. Like there was like alternative type stuff that was doing a bunch of dope stuff back then.
So it's not like the music you listen to has to have this soul element. Because a lot of that stuff, the traditional, how black folks like, that doesn't got some soul in it. Like it doesn't, it's something that's not there. I don't necessarily need that to enjoy music.
Some of it does. Some of it does. And you just kind of, you gotta dig. And you gotta know kind of like what to look for. And how can you like try to make it fit with some of this other stuff that you want to kind of like tell a story with. Right. But I was deep into that, so much so to where it consumed. I was like, I don't even want to do hip hop anymore. Like, and if you ever
like spinning it,
if you ever listen to me DJ, bro, like hip hop is a relatively small part of my set. I'll throw some in there, but it's not the meat and the potatoes.
I mean, yeah, I can dig that. Yeah. I don't necessarily want to go somewhere and just listen to a bunch of hip hop. Like I listen to hip hop all the time. So when I go out, I want to hear. I'm more into the samples and shit. That's my thing. Yeah. And then I love alternative shit too. You know, and then the older stuff, man. I love the older shit, son. Like, you know, the stuff that they use to make that, the soul music, the rock back in the day, the Liberian rock shit, crazy. You know what I'm saying? I discovered that just a few years or so ago. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different shit out there that people can get into. But hip hop is I am hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, you are too.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
It's a
rap music and hip hop different thing.
But I feel like you know, man, you be posting your videos at like your Sunday mornings when you doing your stuff, man. Like that's where I spend most of my time. Yeah. Like now. Yeah. Most of my time is listening to stuff that you, especially like with me and Terrell, and we got another guy, Daniel. We trade all of this dope jazz, and we actually use some of that stuff to like make music, like on the back end with some other things that we do. And it's weird because jazz has forced me to listen to music differently, which has ultimately helped me to be a better listener to people. Aside from just listening to the music. So it's like when you, like if you listening to a jazz album, if you say, hey man, go listen to this guy, I gotta actually sit and listen. And I have to put as much of me to the side as I can if I really want to try to digest this body of work in a meaningful way. Indeed. And so if you're coming to me with something as my homeboy and you saying, hey, look, I want to tell you something, right? What am I doing to put myself in the best position to listen to you? And so in the ways that we dismiss music, like I feel like it's really easy to be dismissive of hip hop, like to fast forward past it. Be like, oh, I don't like that, and you just fast forward and go to another one. Right. It's not that easy in jazz because you know what's there. You almost feel like you gotta find it. Right. So if you don't like it, it's like not the song, it's you. Like what did I miss? Right. In that joint. Right. And it's a different kind of relationship to jazz and into those kinds of songs than it is with hip hop for me. I mean, you can listen to one jazz song and have a bunch of different experiences. I mean, you can do that with a lot of music, but jazz is so many different moving parts, right? Depending on how the band is constructed. And you can listen to that and follow along with the bass line one day or for a few days, and then listen to that same song. All of a sudden, like, man, this other situation, that fucking horn section is nuts. It's crazy. Like I never listened to that. You know, I didn't appreciate that until this moment. So that's a dope thing about jazz. I remember when Tower Records was up there with GW, son. All I would do is go there and get jazz shit. What GW? GW on campus at Tower Records over on Pennsylvania Avenue. Oh, here? Oh, okay. Yeah, here over on Pennsylvania, GW campus. There was a Tower Records up there. This is back, record stores around shit. Their jazz section was extensive, and their reggae section extensive. Dude, I would go up there and buy CDs and shit like that. So it was a good experience. You are what I call, this is our final topic, man. We can't get out of here without doing this shit. You are what I call a silent killer when it comes to sneakers. Like, I'm sitting here watching this guy on these fucking shows, 2 to 4 with different joints on. He chilling right now with the New Balance, whatever. All respect to DC and the New Balance heads. But you are a silent killer when it comes to sneakers. I see what you're doing, and I like it. But your fucking streak with winning these, I've been hitting, bro. Yo, how does that happen? I'd had a streak to where shit wasn't going right, and I've been hitting it like, dude. I hit on the 50 dunks and couldn't check out in enough time. I got early access for the 50, the off-white joints. Oh, word. Oh, you did? And didn't get, so I hit them. I got access but didn't hit. I hit on the Sakai joints. I hit on the Travis Lowe's. You got the undefeated shits? I got the undefeated. I sold them joints though. Word. You got both of them. You got the Dunks and the Air Force Ones. Yeah. But I kept the Dunks. I gave the Air Force Ones to Life. Because I ain't an Air Force One dude, bro. Yeah, me either. I've never owned a pair. I thought they were going to go up in price, so I hit all of them. But yeah, I've been on the streak lately.
Son, you've been on the street for like half a year at least.
It's been good. It's been a real good run.
I don't even know if I want to put this out because I don't want to fuck it up.
So I know it's gonna come back, man. I know it ain't gonna last.
What's your relationship with sneakers, man? You always been like this?
So no, I was heavy into sneakers when I was younger. Then I had a 15-year run with dress shoes.
What?
Dress shoes.
Like the hard bottom shits? Like, let's going crazy Salvatore Ferragamo type shit?
Ferragamo, Bruno Mali, Maresci, Santoni. I had my dress shoe game was the equivalent of someone's like sneaker game.
Straight up.
It was heavy. It was heavy.
Every fucking time I learned something new.
It was heavy.
That's crazy.
It was heavy.
Heavy. I mean, it's some nice leather out there.
Now, same with my ties, same with my suits, bro. I got some Canali suits. Mm-hmm. I got some what I got in there? Stuff that I was wearing for like work. Mm-hmm. That I can, like, if I need to get clean, bro, I'm gonna kill them.
It's a problem.
But I don't like wearing that kind of stuff no more unless I have to actually like really have to. But my dress shoe game and my dress up clothes, suits, ties, shirts, like custom shirts, all that, man, that used to be my thing.
You got a crazy tailor in the city?
I used to have somebody that I worked with. This was a long.
Okay.
It's been a while, bro.
I just bought a suit recently. I need to get it tailored and shit.
Oh, I got my tailor up the street. She good. Yeah, she good.
I'm gonna holler at you about that afterwards, man. I need to.
Yeah, but like in terms of like me getting like custom stuff, man, I ain't mess with nobody on that in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the sneakers was for up until like I moved here. When I moved to DC, I got on a plane with 3 trash bags that was duct taped. 2 of them were shoes. And 1 was clothes.
Word. So, and you talking about dress shoes?
No, these were sneakers.
Sneakers, okay.
We call them tennis shoes in Kansas City. Yeah. But, and so as I got here, I was like, man, I got to get my dress game up because I was in the business world heavy. I got the series of events on how like my business stuff worked out here was just extremely fortunate. But I put a lot of time and energy. I was the cleanest motherfucker at my job and was sleeping on the floor.
I mean, they said dress for the
at my crib.
Shit you want, right?
I didn't even, and I was selling stuff over the phone.
Word.
Clean,
killing them. Like, this guy's not supposed to be here.
I'm not supposed to be here.
That's crazy.
But yeah, the sneaker the sneaker shit reignited about 3-4 years ago, and I wasn't even into New Balance until Buck.
He's
Buck started hipping me because like when I did start getting into him, I was heavy into like comfort and all of that.
Yeah, man.
And he was like, man, New Balance the most comfortable, and I was like, for real? And then I just went.
I've only owned 1 pair in my whole life.
I went crazy. These mugs, right? They feel so good.
Crazy.
Dude. They feel so good.
I can fuck with them, man. I need to fuck with a pair of New Balances. I'm a big Adidas head, and that fucking Boost technology, those Yeezys and shit. Like, man,
I love them. I love the 350s is cool. Them 450s are a little tight. Mm-hmm. They real tight, but yeah, man.
The 380s, I love them shits.
I'm not too excited with what they doing right now. I like New Balance, man, have been going so ham on shit.
Yeah, they got some joints that they came out
going crazy. I got the Salehi Benberries. I wear them a lot. That he did from New Balance. And a lot of what I've been trying to connect with too is like the stories when I was telling you with people, and black stories, primarily in some cases. So, I don't really have my eye on much now, man. I got so much stuff back there now.
This dude, son, I'm telling you, I be seeing you.
I still ain't dropped the load, the Travis load yet. Like those are
He coming out 2 more joints.
the Air Maxes.
No, the Air Max, but he got 2 more one lows.
Really?
I saw him today.
I ain't seen them. What color?
I think they're like one black and white and gray or some shit like that. I can't remember the colors. It's like two joints that they was talking about.
I think them are the sneaker of the year.
Yeah, them shits is tough. So.
I can't even, bro. I thought the Amin Maye 4s was
yeah.
Oh, what are the 3s if I can remember? The 4s.
I believe there was 4.
Those was hard. Those are hard. I hit on them too. But them lows, bro. Like it ain't nothing touching them this year.
They still got their spot over in Northeast. Okay, I ain't over in a minute. Gotta holler at them.
I've been going there, man, trying to enter apples and shit.
Word, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I've been chilling. I ain't been going crazy, but a couple joints here and there, and I got shit in the tuck still that I don't really pull out. You know what I'm saying? So
you see them NMD that just came on confirmed out?
Oh no, man, I don't know about them shits.
I like them.
Do you?
I like them.
Damn, I don't know about them.
I like them, bro.
I'm a big NMD head. Like I loved my OG.
They shouldn't even be called NMD.
They're completely different sneakers.
Shouldn't even be called NMD. I wanted them R1s so bad. Did you have a pair?
Hell yeah, I got the OG joints. The dark black, the charcoal type of joints with the red.
With the red, yeah.
One of the companies come out with the paint because the boost is uncleanable. So I got the paint and shit. So I take them shits up like I'm about to paint in your house. I take them shits up and paint the soles white.
So you've been repainting the boost.
Yes, my G. I wash them first to get the upper nice and clean, and then I tape them. I dry them, tape them, and paint the soles, and it looks like they just came from the store. I love those sneakers, son. Like I'm gonna make them shits go as long as I possibly can.
I wonder, are they the OG? They the first ones?
The OGs.
How much you think they are
now?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't even know, man. I thought about getting the light gray ones just to have them, so I need to go out and check. But I don't think they're gonna cost too much, to be honest. Because Adidas dicked over NMD so bad, and I think it hurt. Though.
They did a bad job with the Ultra Boost too.
They do, yeah. But the Ultra Boosts I just caught.
The 21s.
No, the Ivy City shits, the Ivy Park shits, the Beyonce shits.
You got them?
Blue ones.
Are they what's the silhouette of them? Are they the 21s?
Nah, they the the 5s, or they call it what do they call it? Hold on, let me see. Let me pick these shits out here real quick. I got some pictures of these joints. Them shits right there.
Okay. Oh.
Yo, the comfort.
I like the
my God.
The design, or what's it called, the pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, them shits is fucking mean. So what's the name? 3M Ministries.
That's a nice picture, bro.
Appreciate it, yo. I'll be around the house playing around and shit. Yeah, man. Good shit, son. Good conversation.
So what you looking at getting next? Like what's your next cop? Yeah.
I still want them shattered. What's a shattered glass Jordan?
Shattered backboard.
Shattered back the orange.
The ones, the 1.0s or the 2.0s.
Yeah, the orange and black ones. I like them shits.
You do?
Yeah, with like the yellowy soles and shit.
And the real shiny.
Yeah, I like them shits.
I saw them joints. What was you wearing this weekend that had a little gloss on them?
Those the SB Dunk.
Highs?
Highs. Humidity shits. Those, I just put a video out on those. Those the gold joints is like a pattern after New Orleans jazz scene.
Okay.
So the bottom is clear bottom shit. They got the jazz notes, the music notes in the bottom of the shit, and the inside is purple velvet, like the inside of a like a saxophone case and shit like that. The shits is mean.
What size shoe you wear?
9.
Oh, you wear the same size as But
what life said, these don't fit you.
yeah.
Sizes
these
though.
don't fit you. Sizes though.
You know what I'm saying? 9, man. 9 is tough. It's a tough life to live when it comes to getting joints.
They don't fit you. Oh, really?
Yeah, 9 is tough, B. It's a tough size. I remember, man, I got my heart broken over those Ben 23 Jordans, what were those, the fives, Ben 5 joints. Those are all black shits with the white shoestrings, big ass silver tongue, fucking plush leather. And I sat in fucking line at a Major, and the first nigga in line wore a size 9. Those shits was gone. Never robbed a person in my life. I was like, I should get
Thought about it.
Man, I thought about it. I was like, man, there you go. Took my ass back home. Heartbroken.
So which ones did you say you looking at now?
I'm not really looking at them right now, but those shattered joints, if I wanted to go back and get some shit, like I get shit when I want to get them.
Okay.
I just count on aftermarket prices. Like I don't even try.
Really?
I don't even try.
You gotta.
I don't even try. But them green joints, the Yeezys that you got, that I love, the cloud shits. The green, you know what I'm talking about? The cloud joints, the white ones you got with the they look like they got like claws coming up. Aren't they called?
Oh, the 450s.
450s?
Yeah.
I slept on them white shits. Me, when I saw you with them, I was like, Jesus Christ, these is tough. But they come out with the olive.
They hard, man. They look good on feet, bro.
They look tough.
Yeah.
They look tough. So, it's a couple things in scope, but I'm really chilling, man. Fucking tuition. FIT is no joke. Shout out to my son. Shit.
Yeah,
I'll be chilling, man. I'll be chilling. You know what I mean? Just trying to plan on taking some trips and shit like that,
Or maybe when you do like a little sneaker not a little, but a sneaker unboxing or whatever, I could bring some joints.
No doubt.
Because I want to get these New Balance Kennedys, bro. They came out a while back, and I've been looking at them, and I just been debating, but they're a beautiful shoe.
Indeed.
I'm like these are older ones, but I'm extremely proud of what they doing. Adidas, Nike, I'm just over them, dog, just in general, with just all of this shit. Like everything just gotta be so hype, and
I hate it.
And all of that.
I hate it. And I hate like 90 zillion fucking colorways of the ones, and people call themselves into the sneaker thing. It's like, yo, you got a closet full of one brand of shoe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Diversify. So there's some other shit out there. You know what I mean? Shit from other countries and plush leather, like those fucking them damn Portuguese shits that got leather inside and out. Plush.
Dude, those are hard.
Come on, man, appreciate it.
Those are hard.
Come on, man. You gotta fucking think outside the box, please. So that's why when I pulled them dunks out the other day, slaughtered.
Dude, are you familiar with Golden Goose?
I heard of that. What is this?
Sneakers. I got a pair of them, dog. I like how, cause they born. They made like they used, like they stress. And I like that. And I've been wearing them more than any of the joints that I've been having.
Come on, man. You gotta step outside the box, B. Yo, man. Good shit, son.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
The time was great.
Yeah, man. Great shit, son. I just wanted to sit down and chop it up with you and have some kombucha and shit like that. And just kick it, man. You wanna I don't know, you wanna put any socials out there, or you good?
Tune the Fork. Self-explanatory. We mainly on Instagram. Follow us, cool. Take a listen. Try to help somebody in your life. Try to be a better listener. Try to be a better, supporter of the people around you, and don't beat yourself up too much.
Indeed. Signing off, man. We out of here, yo.
Appreciate you, bro.
Peace.
Brocky, keep talking about whiskey and kicks.